This time we're joined by Coach Izzo. Coach, if you'll start us off with an opening thought.
Well, when points off turnover are 27-2 and free throws are 28 free throws, you're not going to win many games. But I solely pray that every alum out there looks at this game and doesn't say one thing to a player, just blames me. I let the officiating get to me in the first half. 6 years in this job, that should never happen. That's totally my fault, not for the technical, just the entire situation. I did a poor job, and the coach got to be able to admit when he did, just like I'd be able to tell you when I think a player did. I didn't think thought the game plan was awesome. I think we went inside the first 12 minutes of the game, 13 minutes, we were playing great. And we had so many guys in foul trouble that Malik was a big one, that we just struggled, and Josh struggled. But the biggest guy that struggled was the way I handled the end of the half and the halftime and the beginning of the second half. So I will home up, take full blame, and I'll let you ask me any question you want, and I'll probably answer it, because I really don't care what it costs me.
First question will go to Chris Solari.
You guys did come out with, I think you made 10 of the first 15 shots that you took, and then once the whistle started, how much did that disrupt the rhythm of the guys, and how much of it maybe was their defense?
Well, you're going in and out, but I think you said we made 10 out of 15 shots. Then whistles started going crazy. It's like I said, I am frustrated about it. I'm frustrated watching other games. I think the MVP of the league, I should be happy today, because I think the MVP of the country should be the monitor. Today, we really didn't go to the monitor, so I guess that was a plus. I think Mark Turgeon, I don't want to take anything away from him. I thought his guys physically just went at us. Inside, guards driving it. But, you drive it in there, step around, be in there for a while. That changed the game. Then the foul trouble. And the foul trouble, we had guys on the bench. I believe we even had Rocket on the bench, and he had done a decent job. Josh really struggled today. I just felt like he didn't look himself. But when you don't practice all week, that happens. So you pick and choose. Do you practice them, wear them down more? Or do you not practice them and not give them a chance? So I didn't feel we played real well, but I felt like this game was won and lost with the guy you're talking to. So I don't feel that way very often, but I do today.
Next question is Matt Charbonneau.
Tom, you talked about this the other day about the fact that you guys now are probably have to stay here. I guess how difficult is it now when you've lost a game like this, where you're not happy with how the job you did, certain things on the court you didn't like, but now you've got this time that you're a little unsure what to do with. What's the approach now with you guys? I mean, I know you're upset about the game, but how do you kind of move forward from this point with what we just saw?
I don't have to do anything. I get to do it. It's a privilege. I get to be here. I get a chance. I felt bad. Northwestern went home last night, so I don't know what changes for us in the big picture, but I get an opportunity. So have to is not the problem. Get to is the problem. Is the good news. What are we going to do? We're going to take tomorrow off. We're going to practice on Saturday. Probably practice somewhere on Sunday. Maybe it'll be outside. That'd be good for us. But we'll do that, and then we'll see what the next step brings. So don't feel sorry for us. We're in a hotel. We get food. The way my last 3-4 years went, or the way this year went, this is a piece of cake. This is an opportunity. This is good news, not bad news. Just I would have rather been playing, but we didn't play well enough to play. And again, I don't want a technical, my first in a couple of years. I don't want me complaining about the consistency to take anything away from two things. We didn't play good enough, even though I thought we had a great game plan and I thought it worked early. And Maryland, I don't want to take any of their thunder away. They played the way we used to play. I mean, they played physically tougher, and I really appreciated that. I think Mark did a hell of a job. So don't worry about us. We'll, we're not allowed to do much. I mean, it's not like Aaron gets to go home or anything, but we'll figure it out. We'll watch the film. We'll have some time to spend on basketball. We'll have some time to spend to recover. Just disappointed because we got up to so many bad starts, it seems like, in the last couple of weeks, and we got up to a great start and didn't maintain it. So I should be a little more mature than I was. A lot of people would agree with me.
Next question is from Audrey Dahlgren.
Tom, Aaron had mentioned that the most disappointing thing about this game, in a sense, was the style in which you guys played the game. And so would you agree with him? I mean, it sounds like you might agree with him, but off of that, what was maybe the most discouraging thing about the style of play?
Well, I thought physically they punked us. They just went at us and muscle drove us, threw us around in the post. I mean, so many different guys in foul trouble, but I thought usually we're the physical team. But I don't know if anybody knows how to play anymore because, things are called so differently every week. That's all the coaches ask for, players ask for, is consistency. And, I don't feel that it's been consistent. That doesn't mean anything good, bad, or indifferent. If I was an official, I'd say, hey, Izzo, you didn't coach very consistent today. And I would agree with him 200%. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not changing anything. I would have got the same technical. I didn't think it was totally deserving for, sometimes if, it's amazing. I can sit here and tell you that I did things wrong, but I'm not sure that there's ever been a missed call. And so I said what I said. Don't take anything back. Would have said it again. And I just wouldn't have let it bother me as much as I did. And that is immature, ridiculous, and any other words you guys want to use.
May I just a quick follow-up?
Sure.
Why do you think that your emotions did get the best of you?
It's been over time, and some things over time. Certain things that happened over time. But hey, you know what? It's tough on everybody this year, and so I'm not more mature than that, but I really should be more experienced than that. I don't ever want to get too mature. I don't want to get as old as Chud. I'll just stay here and be immature every once in a while. Make sure that I don't get too grown up.
Thanks, Tom.
Next question is from Lindsay Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, I'll try to lighten the load a little bit. You started the season with an unwanted home confinement with COVID, but now a well-received hotel confinement because that means you have the possibility of dancing. Can you reflect on the start of the season and being at home and now having to welcome these COVID protocols?
God, Lindsay, only you could come up with good questions that make sense to me.
Thanks, man.
The one at home, I learned that it wasn't a lot of fun to stay in a beautiful basement with a sauna and a TV and a weight room and kitchen. I hated my basement. All 11 days of it down there. I hated every minute of it. That shows you that even then I was probably ungrateful. I was luckier than 90% of the people that had the damn virus. But, now, it might be good to hide out. I told my players, stay off that damn social media. And you guys can tell those people say anything they want about me because I'm not on it. So it doesn't even faze me. And the only other person I care about, my mother's not on it. So the two of us aren't on it. So who cares? But, I'm going to use this time because I don't think we're good enough to beat anybody. We've proven we're good enough to beat anybody. but our margin for error is very slim. Our leadership today, Joshua looked really tired to me today, and boy, we kept him out of 3 out of the last 4 days, and maybe we did the wrong thing there. This whole year's been a guessing game, but there's not a better kid in America than him, and it wasn't just the play; it was the energy. You need leadership, and so I think that the 3 leaders on the team, Aaron tried, Joshua was down a little bit, Izzo was not very good either. So 2 of the 3 didn't do their job, and the one that should have the most experience, maturity, will never blame the other ones because he should be doing a better job himself. So I'm disappointed in myself that I let it get to that point, but it did. And, I always say you got to be able to self-evaluate. So the good news is I'll go in that room, nobody's allowed in our rooms. We're by ourselves. I'm gonna beat the hell out of myself tonight for it. And that'll be okay. That'll be good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Stoney.
Yeah, Tom, 2 questions. One, I don't know, when you see a certain ref who I saw a stat that you guys were 0-4 your last 4 against him, when he is reffing the game, you sit and say, oh God, not again. And so that's the first question, no matter who it would be.
I don't know any of those stats, Tony, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Can you see me? I think I hit a button here. It went off. I don't know what it's showing me there.
No, the camera went off, Coach.
Camera went off. That's probably good. I don't look very good. But I want to answer Stoney's question because it's a good question. Stoney, over the years, they used to send us who the officials were going to be. When you get in any tournaments, you don't know till an hour before. This year, I never look at who the officials are. I always look at, surprise me when I walk out on the floor. And listen, it's not the officials' fault. I mean, it's my fault. But I didn't know that we were 0-4. There was something that happened early in the year that really, really bothered me. And maybe I let it drag on. And like I said, grow up, Izzo. That should be your headline. Grow up. You've been through a lot. You know a lot. That's all I can say about it. I didn't know any of those stats. I don't care about any of those stats. A lot of great officials out there. I don't like the consistency of what I've seen this year throughout games. I don't like the monitor. I hate the monitor. The monitor, when the monitor is MVP of the country, that's not a good thing, if you ask me. So maybe that's not the official. Maybe it's the rules committee. And now we're sounding like that's all I'm doing is complaining about. We lost the game. I said I did a bad job because I let it get to me. So second part of your question, Stoney.
Second part of the question, more positive. Malik Hall was really, really good today. Can you talk about him a little bit?
Well, we said after the game, that really hurt us when he got his second foul. And we took him out because he was the right matchup for those guys. It was hard, we gave up, I think, 4 threes to their 4 and 5 men that he wouldn't have given up. And so it was, that hurt us too, and, but when I don't feel comfortable in a situation, I don't want to put a guy back in there with 2 fouls because if he gets his third, I'm in trouble. So again, something that we can critique me on and say, hey, play him with 2. But that hurt us a lot, especially in that stretch. He did do a hell of a job. He put the ball on the floor better. He hit a couple of threes, I think. Malik's a good player. He's been a little up and down like all of us this year, including the coach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have 2 final questions today, starting with Kyle Austin.
Hey, I got nowhere to go, man. Just going back to that room that hopefully has rubber walls. So I got nowhere to go.
Well, we'll see if we get any more, but right now we just have 2. We'll start with Kyle.
Tom, looking at the turnovers, the missed shots, how much of that do you think was maybe a product of some of the frustration during that, first half stretch of the officiating? And how do you want you guys to kind of handle that, if that happens again in the Subway tournament?
What's really funny is all those missed shots in the second half. I mean, we shoot 41%, they shoot 38%. We shoot 25 from the three, they shoot 30. They make 20 free throws, we make 9. Points off turnovers are 27-2. We lose by 11. I think the math, even for a Uper, is really easy. So, you know, yeah, we miss shots. They play pretty good defense. They're a very good defensive team. I thought, you know, some of our shots that we got inside, you know, I thought there were times that we just missed them.
Next question, we'll go to Graham Couch.
Tom, you mentioned giving up 3-point shots at the 5, and a guy like Marcus Bingham, who gave you some advantages during that run where you got ahead, and then also gives you disadvantages in guarding out. Like, how do you balance that and taking advantage of him?
Well, that's the advantage. That's the game plan. You know, the game plan is we're going to go inside. We have an advantage in height, and we did. And their advantage is we're going to go outside. We have an advantage in guarding people, you know, and that's where Malik was a little bit of both. And when he got in foul trouble, you know, that was a problem for us. So I don't think we did a great job of handling it. I think we could have been pressed up on a couple of those guys. I think it was Hamilton and, you know, a little bit better. I didn't think we did a very good job on that. We knew he was a shooter, but I think sometimes you put a center in a strange position, meaning guarding a guy at the 3-point line. And, you know, maybe we didn't do a good enough job of covering that. So as always, we'll take a look at that. I think we knew, and they hit some good shots, you know. That's a good basketball team. I mean, they you know, they did like everybody does. They go down and they're 14 up on Penn State in the last game, and, you know, they go back and lose at home. And, you know, they go to Northwestern and lose. I mean, none of us have, the margin for error is slim because there's so many good teams. And I did like the way, though, we got punked because I just felt physically, they just drove us and, you know, moved us and did a good job getting to the basket. So next
We had
question.
one more question show up. Nick Mantis at Channel 6.
And Coach, in your opening statement, you were saying this is good news, you know, the moment and the opportunity, as you were also mentioning that Josh, you know, looked a little bit tired in the way in which he was playing and, you know, not having him practice. Now you guys have a couple of days to rest and, you know, see how things play out and have some practices. Is this also good news that you have time to rest and heal up before the NCAA tournament?
I think if we would have lost a different way, it's good news. The way we lost, you know, I got to look at myself. I got to look at a couple players and say, you know, we got to do a better job. And so, you know, I've never felt there was good news in losing. I always felt that you can learn something from losing. Never, you know, I talked to Mark Few the other day. I said, it was a good scare. And yeah, maybe we needed a loss. No, you never need a loss. If you need a loss to learn, you don't have good leadership or you're not doing a good job yourself. So I don't think, you know, losing we needed or, you know, it gives us an advantage because of fatigue. Winning is supposed to invigorate you. You know, now, in fairness, this has been 3 weeks from hell. And you all know it. And I know it. But it's also been 3 of the more exhilarating weeks of my entire coaching career. When you can beat some of the teams you beat, play the way you did, and earned them. You know, it wasn't like we shot, you know, sometimes you win a game because you made 10 threes. We grinded it out. We did it the right way. And that's why it was disappointing. And you know, our big fear, as I know some of you asked me in interviews, you know, why the poor starts? We get off to a great start. That shows you how much you guys know. Nothing, because we'd be better off if we got off to a bad start maybe and won the game than getting off to a good start and losing the game. So again, it'll give me a reason to be mad at you guys. Right now, you know, the good news is my family's not here. You know, there's no donors here. I can just be mad at me and that'll work out good for me.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
All right, and our final question today comes from Wojo.
Hey there, Tom. One more thing on the officiating. Do you feel like it does tighten up at tournament time, and is that an adjustment that has to be made, or do you think it's the same throughout the year?
I'll be honest with you, and this is where, for me, I mean, I'm looking at the rules committee, the jump India, the hands up verticality, that circle. I'm looking at games I don't even participate in. I'm looking at games when, you know, the 2-hour game is 2 hours and 15 because we had 27 monitor reviews. There's a hook and hold on everything. You know, I don't blame the officials. I don't blame the coach. I think everybody's got to look at this, but to me, it's been a crazy year in watching games. And I think the hard thing is consistency. That's all coaches want. They want it consistent. And if it was consistent, like I said, at the end of the day, it's not their fault, it's my fault. I've got to adjust to it. And I can honestly tell you, in all my years, today was one day I did a poor job. So don't make any excuses for me, because that was my job. I get paid to do that job. So I don't think, you know, yeah, the NCAA tournament, it usually changes a little bit, but this had nothing to do with that. I just, man, I look forward to watching the film. I look forward to seeing, but it has nothing to do with this film. It has to do with, I think, consistency.
All right, Coach, that's all the questions we had today.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day, guys.